So regarding this, create a critical path. Now this is what a question. Create a critical path method for the following data. Okay. The data has been given as three fields. First field is called activity. Second field is called producer. Third field is called duration. Okay. Now let us take an example. Activity is A. Okay. The producer is not assigned to this. And the duration of this is 5. Okay. Similarly, activity B. At this time, the producer is A. And the duration is, let us take an example, 3. Okay. Similarly, so note down the question first. Okay. The next step is C. The producer is A. The duration is 4. You can take any example as you like. Okay. For the sake of simplicity, I am going to consider a simple example like this. This time, let us say B as well as C. And the durations are 2. E and the producer is B. And the durations are 5. Okay. So this is what the given question. Now to this concerned question, how to analyze a critical path? Okay. Are you able to see the screen that I have shared and I have mentioned a question on the screen? Please message me. Yes. Okay. Okay then. Okay. Now listen carefully. So in the given question, there are 3 fields. First field is called activity field. Second field is called producer field. Third field is called duration. Clear? So to draw a critical path, we have already discussed about the method and analysis. Okay. For the sake of simplicity, what you need to do is you need to use the analysis of this critical path. Okay. Now see this. Step number 1, perform a network diagram. Okay. And we have already discussed that network diagram can also be called as activity on arc or else activity on arrow. You can also name this as network diagram or else you can name this as activity on arrow diagram or else activity on arc diagram, which we have discussed in the last class. Now, in this entire structure given question, A itself is the starting edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a activity To this concern activity, B. Suppose if I want to fulfill my B activity, now B activity producer is A, means B is a parameter. See this, an activity parameter whose producer is assigned to A. So make a line across A. Okay. Similarly, if you say C, C is another activity again whose producer is assigned to A. So make an arc across A. Similarly, D, now this time D is an activity whose predecessors are B and C. So if I say D, then the predecessors are recognized by 2. What are they? One is B, make an arrow across B. One is C, make an arrow across C. And E is an activity whose predecessor is assigned as D. So E is an activity whose predecessor is assigned as D. Okay. So in our last session, for the given project, we have solved a critical path. But in this question, we need to create our project through the network diagram. Clear? So how to plot this network diagram purely depends on the predecessor as well as the activity given in your respective project. Okay. So therefore, the predecessors have been assigned, activities have been assigned. Okay. So this is called the step number 1. Is this clear? Shall I proceed further? Please message me. Use your chat box and message me. Okay, very good. Now let me continue the next step. So after fulfilling your step number 1, now step number 2. What is step number 2? Step number 2 is nothing but critical path network diagram. Okay, so we can also call this critical path network diagram as address, sorry, activity A on node. This is the other name of critical path network. Okay, so please do remember the other names also. What is the other name of network diagram? Activity on arc, or else you can say activity on arrow. Okay, so this is the name of this network diagram. Similarly, what about the critical path network diagram? Activity on node. Okay, can also be called as critical path network diagram. Now, when once we define this node, node has 2 passes. What are they? One is forward pass, 2 is backward pass. Okay, now we shall see first step forward pass of a network, second step backward pass of a network. Clear? For that, what I am going to do is okay, now say this. First, A. Okay, I am going to plot the activity A. Okay, so this is the name of your node, which is A. And we know that each node will have 6 parameters, which we have discussed in our last session. What are they? Number 1 is early start, duration, early finish, late start, slack, late finish. Okay, so these are the parameters which are going to support a node. Similarly, plot B. Now I am going to plot my B activity. Let us say this is my B activity. and let us assume that this is my C activity. Only thing is I am going to make a node of each and every parameter. That's all. Okay. Let us assume that this is C. Let us assume that this is B. And this is D. Okay. Is this clear, Amma? Please use your chat box and message me. Similarly, the last one, E. Okay. Any more doubts up to this? Is this clear? Use your chat box and message me. Shall I proceed further? Okay. Fine. Okay. Next. After fulfilling your critical path network diagram, step number one, which is the most important step, that you need to assign a start point to the entire project. Okay, let us say this is the start point of your project, which is called S, and this is the end point of your project, which is called E. Okay, which can also be called start and finish, which I have shown you in a Gantt chart also. Okay, start, finish, duration. Those are the parameters which are very, very important. Now, after fulfilling your step number one, now first step is fill your durations of each and every activity. What is A duration? A duration is assigned to 5. So fill 5. Next, B duration is 3. Next, C duration is 4. Okay, in the given question, the durations have been already there. Only thing is you need to place those durations across each activity. That's all. D duration is 2. Is this clear, Amma? Okay. The next question you need to solve, okay, by yourself. I'll give you the question and you need to answer that question by your own. Okay. So that's the reason why listen the class carefully. After fulfilling all the durations, okay, now we need to choose forward pass first. Okay. Let us say forward pass. Under forward pass, what are the rules which we have discussed in the last class? Forward pass always deals on the top three parameters. What are they? Early start parameter, duration parameter, early finish parameter. Clear? So we are going to initialize the start of the project with early start value as 0, whatever may be your project. Okay. Do remember that early start of your respective project will always be 0. Early finish depends on the respective mode of your operation. Clear? Is this clear? Please message me in the message box. Use your chat box. Any more doubts up to this? Okay, fine. write the node parameter also. Okay, so that it will be easy to use. So this is called the node symbol, and each node is assigned by how many parameters? 6 parameters, which I said. Number one is ES, which is called early start. Number two is duration. Number three is early finish. Okay, what about this? The lower parameters are late start, slack, SLACK, okay, followed by late finish. This is what the node structure, which we have learned in the last session. Now under forward pass, we are going to use only these parameters. Okay, fine. How to get this early finish value? Early finish value is nothing but a combination of these two. Okay, when I add these two, I can get this. Therefore, 0 plus 5 is nothing but 5. Now, this activity is now interconnected to B as well as is now interconnected to C. Okay, therefore, the same 5 will be the early start of B activity as well as C activity. Is this clear, Amma? Any more doubts? Use your chat box and message me. Shall I proceed further? Is this clear? Okay. Now, the next important step is, what about the early finish of B activity 5 plus 3, which is nothing but 8? What about 5 plus 4, which is nothing but 9? Okay. Now, upon using the B and C activities, okay, we came to a conclusion of early finish values as 8 and 9. Okay. Now, the most important point is, when single activity is fitted into n number of activities, there is no need to consider the maximum value. Whereas, when n number of activities are connected to single activity, then you need to consider the rule of forward bias. What is the rule of forward bias? Consider the maximum early finish of all those n activities. Once again, I'm going to repeat this point. This is the most important step where the students are doing mistakes. Okay. When single activity is connected to n number of activities, you are not supposed to consider any kind of maximum or minimum. You can simply place the early finish value of that single activity in n number of activities. That's the reason why the 5 has been placed in B as well as C. Whereas if I use some n number of activities are connected to single activity, now if you observe that B is connected to D as well as C is connected to D. This time you need to consider your maximum value. From this, I had the early finish value as 8. From this, I had the early finish value as 9, which means B is sending 8 out from the activity, C is sending 9 out from the activity. Upon 8 and 9, which is the maximum value? 9. So place this 9 as a early start of the next activity. That is the most important point which you need to remember. Is this clear? Most of the students do mistake in this particular point only. Okay, they simply place the value and then at the end they'll say that I am unfortunate to do the given question. Is this clear? Use your chat box and message me. Shall I repeat this? Okay. Now the next important point is here. The next important point which you need to remember is when once 9 and 2, okay, what about 9 and 2? 9 plus 2 is nothing but 11. Now this 11 is again alone connected to E activity, so 11 acts as a lister. So 11 plus 5 is nothing but 16. Okay. Now the most important step what you need to remember is here after fulfilling this entire forward bias, okay, we concluded the ended value. What is the ended value? 16. Okay. So 16 is your end value of your entire project. Okay. Is this clear, Amma? Forward pass of your critical path network. Okay. Shall I proceed for backward pass? Is there any doubt in this? Please let me know so that I can clarify here itself. Or else shall I go for backward pass? Use your chat box and message me. Yes, sir, it is clear. Without knowing the knowledge of critical path, it is highly impossible to learn PERT. Okay, program evaluation review technique. Fully depends on this concept only. Okay, the same concept will remain the same, just a little bit change in their respective management technique. That's all. Okay. Now, after fulfilling this, end value as 60. Okay. So we started with 0 and we ended with 60. Now, backward pass. Okay. Let me initialize the backward pass with one more color. Now, 16 will be the late start. Remember, for a backward pass, the lower parameters are going to roll. What value you are going to consider? You are going to consider the late finish minus the duration gives you the value of late finish. This is the point. Okay. Whereas in this case, early start plus duration gives you the early finish. Okay. So we are going to subtract these two and we are going to place in this. So 16 minus 5, which is nothing but 11. Is this clear, Amma? Now this 11 has been carried backward to D activity. 11 minus 2, which is nothing but 9. Now 9 has been splitted across B. Again the same rule. Okay. 9 has been splitted across B. Okay. So single activity is split into n number of activities. So there is no need to consider the minimum and maximum. So I placed my late finish value, late start value as 9. It has been placed in B as well as C. What about this 9 minus 3, which is nothing but 6? 9 minus 4, which is nothing but 5. Okay. Therefore, now this time from B, I achieved my late start value as 6. From C, I achieved my late start value as 5. So what type of passing we are going to do here? Backward pass. So under backward pass, what we are going to consider the minimum of these two. What is the minimum of this? 5 and 6? 5. So place 5. That is the only rule. Okay. So in this simple example, it will be so clear that what is forward pass and what is backward pass, what are the rules assigned in forward pass and what are the rules assigned in backward pass. If you observe your forward pass, there in 8 and 9, we consider the maximum value of it. If you observe your backward pass, in 6 and 7, 5 and 6, we observe the minimum value of it. Okay, so 5. So 5 minus 5 is nothing but 6. Is this clear, Amma? So that is how we need to enlarge the given project in both the passes. Therefore, this pass technique is called as backward pass, are the two basic pass techniques which are used to find the critical path. Any more doubts up to this? Please use your chat box and message me. Okay. Any doubts? Use your chat box, Amma. Any more doubts? Okay. Very good. Now, the last step of this entire network is your slag. So we have already discussed how to find a slag of a given network. Slag value can be achieved. Okay. Now, let me show you this slag. Slag is nothing but the difference of these two as well as the difference of these two. What are these two? Late start, late finish, early finish. Okay. While deferring the difference, please do remember that you are not supposed to get a negative value. If you achieve a negative value, your project is somewhere it has been dropped, which means it is a wrong project. Please do remember this point. Slack should always be positive. Okay. Now, if your slag is achieved as 0, that node is an active node participated in critical path. That is the point which you need to remember. If the slag value is 0, it has been there participating in a critical path of the entire project. Now we shall see one by one activity slag. What is the slag of this A activity? 0 minus 0, 5 minus 5, which is nothing but 0. What about this? 6 minus 5 is 1, 9 minus 8 is 1. What about this? 5 minus 5 is 0, 9 minus 9 is 0. If you observe one more important difference, both will be same. Whether you subtract early start, late start, or you subtract early finish, late finish, the value will be same. Okay. Next, 9 minus 9, 11 minus 11. Next, 11 minus 11, 16 minus 16. Therefore, we came to a conclusion of some nodes participating in critical path. What are they? First, A. From A, it travels towards C rather than traveling towards B. Why? Because there the B activity slag is 1. So we are going to identify the critical path. How to identify the critical path? Wherever the slag value is 0, assign those activities only. From C, it enters into D. From D, it enters into E. Okay. So this is the critical path of your entire project. Clear? Now, fulfill your durations also. What about A duration? A duration is nothing but 5. C duration is nothing but 4. D duration is nothing but 2. E duration is nothing but 5. Okay. Now, if you add all these, okay, we will get a value which is all equal to the project value of end date. Observe this. 5 plus 4, 9, 9 plus 2, 11, 11 plus 5, 16. So how many days it took to fulfill the entire project under forward pass? 16 days. The same value will be achieved here. That is called the critical path method. Okay. Any more doubts in this? Is this clear? Okay. Use your chat box and message me. Very good. Okay. Now it is your turn to do your project. Okay. Now note on the question. Okay, which is asked in your previous question papers. Okay. Now the question is, a software project involves. Now let me write the same question using your classroom board. Okay. Any more doubts up to this? Shall I erase the board? Use your chat box and tell me that. Okay then. Now see this. Now the question is here, a software project, count on the question, and I need an answer from your side. Involves. Okay, this is the question which is asked in previous papers. Okay, 5 tasks, namely T1, comma, T2, comma, T3, comma, T4, comma, T5. Okay, with durations 10, 15, 18, 30, 40. Okay. 10, 15, 18, 30, 40. Now the question is T2 and T4 can start only after T1 completes. T2 and T4 can start only after T1 completes. First, T3 can start after T2 completes. T3 can start after T3. T3 can start after T2 completes. Okay, we'll start. T5 can start only after T3, T4 completes. T5 can start only after T3, T4 completes. T3, T4 completes. Okay. Now the question is, what is the slack time of task T3? What is the slack? SLACK. Okay. This can also be called as free float. Okay. Slack time of task T3. Okay. Find critical path. Okay. This was the question asked in your previous question papers. Okay. Ask as an essay question. Only single question, that too an essay question. Now, once again, I'm going to read out the question. A software project involves 5 tasks, namely T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, with durations 10, 15, 18, 30, 40. T2 and T4 can start only after T1 completes. T3 can start after T2 completes. T5 can start only after T3, T4 completes. T3, T3. Now, the question number 1 is, what is the slack time of task T3? Find the critical path. Okay. Now, it is your turn to solve both the questions. I need the answer for this. Okay. As well as the answer for this. Both paths. Okay. Is the question clear to you? Use your chat box and message me. Okay. I have typed the entire question on your screen. Only thing is you need to solve 2 main steps. I want to know what is the slack time of task T3 and what is the critical path. Critical path means either T1, T2, T3, T4 or T1, T3, T4, T2. It may be any more. Okay. Only thing is you need to find a critical path. Are you able to solve this? Okay. Okay. Fine. Shall I solve this project or you can solve by yourself? Yes. Yes. Message me. Shall I solve that or you can solve by your own? Only thing is if you know how to draw the critical path, network diagram first, then the critical path, you can easily analyze it. Very good. మేము సాల్వ్ చేస్తాం సార్. That's it. That's what I want. Okay. More and more. Okay. And I'll show you all these things on a practical approach also. Whatever the thing that we have learned under this, I'll show all the things practically how they have been running on your system using your softwares also. Okay. Now I'm going to cross check only the network diagram. Okay, the remaining things you do by yourself. And in the next class, okay, if you have did your task, okay, please message me through your WhatsApp. Okay, and if you feel any doubts, ask me through I'll clarify your doubt there itself. Fine. Now the question is here, how to plot the network diagram. I'll read out the step number 1. Okay, please cross check whether you have fulfilled your task properly or not. So a software project involves 5 tasks, namely T1, T2, T3, T5, with the durations they have given. Now you need to read out this. T2, T4 can start only after T1 completes. Therefore, if this is your respective diagram, let us say T1 is my activity. T2, T4 can start. So this is T2. And this is T4. You can use capital letters also. Okay. T2, T4 can start after completing T1. So I fulfilled my diagram. Critical path. Okay. To find a critical path, step number 1 is network diagram. How to build a network diagram? By reading this sentence, I came to a conclusion that T1 completes. T2, T4 can start only after T1 completes. So after completing T1, T2 and T4 can start. What about the next statement? T3 can start after T2 completes. Okay. So T3 can start after T2 completes. Therefore, this is T3. So this can start after T2 completes. Fine. What about the last statement? T5 can start only after T3, T4 completes. So this is my T5. So T5 can start only after T3 as well as T4 completes. When once you know how to draw your network diagram, you can easily find a critical path. Okay. So step number 1 has fulfilled. What is the name of this step? Activity on arc, or else activity on arrow, can be called as network diagram. This is your step number 1. Okay. And the remaining 2 steps you need to fulfill by your own. Is this clear, Amma? Now comes the next and the last. Okay. And in the next session, I am going to cross check the slack time of task T3 and the critical path. Okay. Next. Note on the next question. Now this time, activity. Okay. Ready, sir? Ready, sir? Duration. So the activity is A. Predecessors are nothing. Duration is again 6. Next B. This is A. duration is T. Why I'm saying all these examples means to make your part analysis easy. Okay, you need to practice at least 5 examples. C, this is B. Note down the question. Okay, what about the duration? Duration is 10. Similarly, this is D. Okay, this is E. Let me write all the parameters first. F, G, H. Okay. What about predecessors? A, B, C, D, E. This is A, B, C, C, E. A, B, C, C, E, F, C. E, F, C. Okay. 6, 3, 10, 6, 4, 6, 6, 4, and 6. This is also a question which is asked in previous papers. Okay, fine. So for this, also try to find a critical path. Is the question clear, Amma? Use your chat box and message me. I need a critical path of this 1 and 2 questions. Okay. So in the next class, I hope that you will have a solution in your hands. Okay. Backward pass T3 slag is 12. Is 12. Oh, some of the guys did 12. Okay, we'll cross check it. I need an answer from all the respective guys. Okay. After knowing the answer only, I will reveal the answer. Okay. Fine. So backward pass purely depends on the parameters of lower parameters. What are they? One is late start, two is late finish. Okay. And in between these two, duration role is the major role which is going to support for forward pass as well as backward pass. If we use plus duration, then it is called forward pass. If we use minus duration, then it is called backward pass. Okay. So if you observe your diagram carefully, where I have shown, the diagram has been recognized by two modes. One, a backward pass, T3 slag is 0. Very good. There is a difference in answering. Okay, that's what I want. Let me know the different answers from your side. And in the next class, I will reveal the answers. Okay. So backward pass is nothing but depends on two parameters. Late start, late finish. Forward pass depends on two parameters. early start, early finish. Whatever may be the pass, duration is common. If I use plus duration, then it is called forward pass. If I use minus duration, then it is called backward pass. Is this clear? Okay. So duration is common for both the passes. Only thing is which kind of pass technique you are implementing in your project. Whether you are implementing a forward pass technique or a backward pass technique, it depends on the respective answer. I have received another answer as 3. Okay. Let me know all the answers first. Try to solve both the solutions, both the questions with a solution. Okay. Whether it may be right or wrong, try to practice them. Why? Because without a practice on these concept, you are unable to go through the next concept called PERT. Why? Because PERT fully dependent on the concept of CPM. If you know the concept of CPM, then only you can be able to solve PERT problem. Please do remember. That's the reason why I'm repeating this with n number of examples. Okay. So in the next session, please come up with the solutions. Okay, whether it may be right or wrong, please try them. Okay, and we shall see the corrections in them, and we shall start the next management technique, which is called the PERT. Okay, and remember, without these three techniques, the question paper will not be there in your final exams. Okay, that's the reason why this is the most major concept under Unit 1. Is this clear, Amma? Any more doubts? Very well. Thank you for today's session. We'll meet in the next week. Thank you.